The Winds of Winter, Tyrion II, Chapter Summary. Tyrion Lannister is in a tent amongst the Second Sons when he hears horses and the sounds of battle in the distance. He comes out to make some jokes and conversation with some of the Second Sons while they wait for Brown Ben Plum, who has gone to see a female general. The Second Sons still mean to fight for Yunkai. However, there is grumbling that they are fighting on the wrong side. There is fighting in Slaver's Bay and under the wall, and it will be upon their position soon. Tyrion watches the sun rise over the battlefield. One of the dragons is perched on a pyramid and is eating soldiers being flung into the air by one of the 6 trebuchets, called the Wicked Sisters. Tyrion thinks that the Pale Mare is riding, but he is not ready to meet him yet. He still wants to live. He has yet to put on his armor, so he returns to the tent to get ready. Penny is there, dressed in real armor for her protection. As she helps him suit up, he explains his thoughts on strategy for the upcoming battle. A great plan to be heard, and followed by no one. Why do the gods keep putting me into battle, Tyrion thinks, since he is so obviously ill-suited for it. He remembers the first time he ever prepared for a battle, when he fought in his father's army on the Green Fork. He recalls how Shae shuddered when she heard the war horns, and admired his mismatched armor, saying he looked fearsome. He thinks of himself as a fool for having ever believed her, wondering if she was always acting while with him. He recalls Podrick Payne being asleep the morning of the Green Fork as well, and although the boy was not the brightest, hopes the lad found a good man to serve. The Second Sons saddling up remind him of Bronn, and he wonders if his sister has tried to kill him yet as well. Tyrion also recalls the Blackwater, though less clearly, and how the one time he made the mistake of removing his helmet to keep from drowning, it cost him his nose. He laments not having any wine before the battle. Penny reminds him he drank it all the night before. He remarks, "I'd sell my sister for a cup of wine," to which Penny replies, "You'd sell your sister for a cup of horse piss." Tyrion laughs out loud and says, "I did not know my taste for horse piss was so well known." Suddenly, Penny kisses him, and Tyrion becomes enraged. He rants at her about the slaughter of the battlefield and the horrible reality about to invade her innocent little world. Penny apologizes, saying she's frightened and that, "I never meant to make you angry." But this only reminds him of Shae, and he becomes even angrier. Upon re-emerging from the tent, Tyrion can hear the battle raging closer, and the camp is in a panic. Although the closest fighting is a league away, he knows it will be upon them soon. Having been born in Casterly Rock, Tyrion knows the savagery of the Greyjoys, as they have raided and burned Lannisport several times in the past. He realizes, however, that the Yunkish are completely ignorant of what the Iron Men are capable of, but they will soon find out. Rhaegal and Viserion eventually join the battle as well, and begin to swoop down from the sky, scorching the earth with their breath and snatching up burnt men. A man in golden armor rides up from the Supreme Commander Gorzak. No one in the camp knows who Gorzak is. This man is his emissary, and commands them to move down to the bay to attack the savages from the squid ships. Tyrion tells them what savage fighters the Ironborn are, and that he is not inclined to follow the command, especially without Brown Ben present. The Second Sons agree. They are cavalry and can't walk on water. They decide to wait for Brown Ben to return. The emissary, assuring them of Gorzak's wrath, departs. Tyrion and Jorah agree. They are fighting for the wrong side. The paymaster Inkpots throws up his hands in frustration. Viserion withdraws from the sky, but Rhaegal still flies. Brown Ben returns shortly thereafter and calls a meeting in his tent. Inside, Brown Ben reveals their orders are to flank the Unsullied from the rear, which causes all of the men to exchange nervous glances of uncertainty. Tyrion and Jorah argue that they should switch back to Dany's side, but before anyone can make a decision, another messenger, named Morgar, arrives with orders from the new Yunkish leadership. Several of them have been killed at this point in the battle. Tyrion approves of the depraved scene depicted on the man's armor, calling him a kindred spirit, but his news is less welcome. Morgar swears vengeance on the Prince of Tatters, and Tyrion replies by mocking him. The Second Sons joke amongst each other about the constantly changing leadership in the Yunkish army, and continue to avoid taking a side in the fight. The messenger remarks that Tyrion is an escaped slave and demands that they turn him over. Brown Ben jokes that Tyrion can't be a slave since he is not wearing a collar. When the messenger demands to know what their decision is, Ser Jorah replies, "This," and drives his longsword through the back of the man's neck as he tries to run. When the man falls, he knocks over the Sivas table in the room, and the white dragon piece lands at Tyrion's feet. He picks it up and wipes the blood from it, and it reminds him of his hopes that the Dragon Queen will return to them soon because they need her. Brown Ben proclaims that joining Yunkai was merely a clever ploy, and that they have been Queen's men all along. Tyrion isn't fooled by this, but is happy to play along. He walks up to the dead Yunkish messenger's body and gives it a light kick. "If that armor fits me," he says, "I want it."